Hello and welcome to your Week 5, Day 4 lecture. Please take notes today as you will be responsible for this information not only for the quiz tonight but also for your upcoming trees group project. So I'm going to cover some plan writing tips today. Keep in mind that this lecture should be kind of viewed in conjunction with Dr. Johnny White's lecture, and you will be responsible for both for your final project. So for the writing itself, I have 10 writing tips for you. The first one is to write in the imperative. So if we read this sentence right here, not only is it wordy, but it's also in the passive voice and it's not clear. So the website should be visited in order for you to learn more. Instead of writing in the passive, you'll write your sentences in the imperative, which is essentially the command. You start each sentence with a command. So instead, you would say, visit the website to learn more. Way fewer words, way clearer. So the takeaway from this slide is to write in the imperative and avoid the passive voice. Additionally, you're going to want to avoid those ambiguous pronouns that I've been talking about since the beginning of the quarter. Go to the department office and make an appointment with a College of Engineering counselor. This will ensure your success. In this case, this is an ambiguous pronoun because we're not sure exactly what it is that is going to ensure the person's success. So instead, you can simply follow the word this, with whatever the original referent is. This appointment will ensure your success. Next is, with each one of your steps, you want to explain what to do and how to do it. It's very easy to assume that your readers will know how to do certain actions. Don't assume that. So instead, always assume that you need to provide them enough context to tell them exactly how to do each step. So instead of saying make an appointment, they might not know how to make an appointment. So you can say make an appointment by calling the following number, 805-756-6702. Additionally, you want to make sure that you use articles. So this is, article use is a choice based off of whatever company's style guide you're following. For the sake of this company, Trees does want you to use articles, the, a, and an. And the reason for that is because when you don't use articles, it leads to something called robot speak. You sound like a robot. So I'll read this out loud and you can judge for yourself. Speak with representative of ASI and ask when busy times of rec center are. Choose to go to rec cen during quiet hours. Very, very robotic and choppy. Instead, you can say speak with a representative of ASI and ask when the busy times are of the rec cen. So much better, so much more fluid. So use articles. When you're listing, please avoid using listing language like first, second, then, finally. The reason for that is because each step is going to be numbered, and so therefore it would be redundant for you to say first when it's numbered with the number 1 next to it. So instead of saying first, visit the rec center, just simply say visit the rec center. And that will prevent you from being wordy, it will prevent you from being redundant. Additionally, look at the style guides that Dr. Johnny White has for you. So he has the Google style guide, which is on Canvas, and he also has the Trees style guide. Look at both of those for the writing itself. The general rule for spelling out numbers is that in tech writing, you spell out any numbers that are below 10. So in this case, you would spell out 5, F-I-V-E. However, Google and the Tree Style Guide wants you to always numerically state the numbers. So instead, you would just write out the number 5, even if the numbers are under 5. So the takeaway from this is to always write out the numerals of your numbers for this assignment, but always check your style guides if you're in industry. Next is concision. You want each one of your steps to be as concise and precise as possible. Use as few words as you can to display what it is that you're trying to say, but be clear. Assume that your audience has not done this before. Give them enough information so they would be able to solve it, having very limited amount of knowledge. Break complex procedures into clear and easily followed steps, and use one step for each major action. Next, you are required to use a total of 4 multimodal components in this assignment. Multimodality are things like images, videos, podcasts, TED Talks, voice memos. They are essentially mediums that are outside the written text. And when you use these mediums, a lot of the times they can really deepen the reader's understanding of the content matter, and they can be incredibly effective. So what I recommend doing is having, in addition to your text, having at least one multimodal component for every one of your plans. But the rule is for this assignment, and what is on your rubric is that you need 4 total, for the whole project, I should say. Please keep in mind that these components cannot stand alone, so you need to include context for them in the corresponding step. So for example, if you include a TED Talk on whatever topic it is that you're talking about, in that step itself, you can say, see this TED Talk for more information on blank, and tell your readers what they should take away from it. Next is, in terms of using the word you, you is fine to use, but if you overuse it, it can seem like you're being a little bit bossy and repetitive. So use the word you wisely. I wouldn't use it too much, but if you can't write a sentence without using it, feel free to include it. So in this case, this seems pretty warm. Talk to your professor. It may feel awkward at first, but you may come to enjoy it. That's a nice personal connection with the reader, and Dr. Johnny White really does want you to foster that kind of personal connection, so that's fine, but just use it wisely. And last but not least, you are required to use a total of 5 sources per action plan. So for your whole project, that's 5 times 4. You're going to be using 20 sources for your whole project. When you use your sources, Dr. Johnny White wants you to cite them using a hyperlink. So both of these examples are hyperlinked out to the outside source. If you would like to further cite your sources, you can also use, in your signal phrase, cite the source itself. So according to the American Psychological Association, and you can go from there. Again, totally optional to do that, but if you want to establish your credibility and your ethos by citing an outside source that is reputable, like the American Psychological Association, that might be a wise thing to do. Please cite everything that is not common knowledge or your own opinion. So you're going to be engaging with outside sources quite a bit, but don't feel, again, like you need to repeatedly say according to. Dr. White is fine with you guys using the hyperlinks for information, just like this step right here. So that is all that I have for you today. Please watch Dr. White's lecture as well on guide writing, and if you have any questions for me, please let me know.